Hello, everyone. I'm Cardinal Emil Johansson of the Ecumenical Order of Christ, and I'd like to bring you a little piece of news here. This is from The Guardian, and it's about China, and specifically about Xi Jinping. And let's read here and see what it says. Xi Jinping handed unprecedented third term as China's president. Coronation this week sets up Xi, who has overseen a consolidation of power, to become modern China's longest serving head of state. Xi Jinping has been handed an unprecedented third term as president, capping a rise that has seen him become China's most powerful leader in generations. In a carefully choreographed ceremony in Beijing, Xi held up his right fist and placed his left hand on a red leather copy of China's constitution. You can see in the image here. In the oath, beamed live on state television across the nation, is that supposed to be broadcast live? He vowed to build a prosperous, strong, democratic, civilized, harmonious, and great modern socialist country. Right, sounds nice. The appointment by China's rubber stamp parliament comes after he was handed another 5 years as head of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, and the military, the two more significant leadership positions in Chinese politics in October. Since then, 69-year-old Xi has faced challenges including mass protests over his zero COVID policy and his subsequent abandonment and saw countless people die. These issues have been avoided at this week's National People's Congress, NPC, a closely watched event that over the next 2 days is also set to appoint Xi ally Li Qiang as the new premier, putting him in charge of managing the world's second largest economy. The lawmakers have focused instead on a sweeping revamp of Beijing's science ministry and tech capabilities in the face of what one NPC deputy described as foreign attempts at containment and suppression of the country's rise. Got thrown off by the NPC abbreviation there, which normally stands for non-player character. Beginning of China's new political term also saw former Vice Premier Han Zheng elected as its new vice president and Zhao Leji, former chief of the party's top anti-corruption commission, as the new parliamentary chair. Both are members of China's highest political decision-making body, the Politburo Standing Committee. The election process, carried out at the Great Hall of the People at Beijing's Tiananmen Square, lasted around an hour. Beijing also unveiled during the parliamentary meeting a growth goal of around 5%, one of its lowest in decades, as well as a modest increase in defense spending. Yeah, I remember a time when their economy was probably growing at around 20% a year, which was remarkable, by the way, but yeah. Xi's re-election is the culmination of a remarkable rise from a relatively little-known party apparatchik to the leader of a global superpower. For decades, China, scarred by the dictatorial reign and cult of personality of founding leader Mao Zedong, has eschewed one-man rule in favor of a more consensus-based but still autocratic leadership. That model imposed term limits on the largely ceremonial role of the presidency, with Xi's predecessors Jiang Zemin and Hu Jintao relinquishing power after 10 years in office. Xi has torn up that rulebook, abolishing term limits in 2018. Remember when he did that actually, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Putin in Russia did something similar. His coronation this week sets him up to become modern China's longest serving head of state and will mean Xi will rule well into his 70s, and if no challenger emerges, even longer. But both Biden and Trump are over 70, so. But the beginning of his unprecedented third term leading China Comes as the world's second largest economy faces major headwinds from slowing growth and a troubled real estate sector to a declining birth rate. Relations with the United States were also at a low not seen in decades, with the powers sparring over everything from human rights to trade and technology. In a speech to delegates at the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, well, which runs alongside the NPC this week, she criticized Washington's containment, encirclement, and suppression of China. China, he said, must have the courage to fight as the country faces profound and complex changes in both the domestic and international landscape. She will make a speech on Monday before the annual parliamentary session closes, as China faces multiple challenges, including an economy hobbled by 3 years of COVID curbs, worsening relations with the West. So I brought this article up because China is an important player in the end game. And, we're seeing now that this guy is going to serve even longer. This guy who has no relation to Pooh the Bear, Winnie the Pooh, though he looks that way. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So, thank you all for listening, and may God bless you, and love God and love each other. In the name of Lord Rael. Amen.